What's going on, you guys? Frost here, and I'm back with another video. Today I'll be giving you guys my top 6 junglers for patch 7.4. If you enjoy these types of videos, remember to hit that like button right below and subscribe for more. Now, without any further ado, let's get right into my top 6. Coming in at 6th place is Vi. Vi is one of those champions that just has amazing lockdown potential, whilst at the same time dealing a lot of damage to that target. And since a lot of squishy but high mobility champions are being played right now, she is pretty much the perfect counter. The main problem with Vi and the reason why she's only on 6th place is the fact that her early game is lacking. In the early game as Vi, you should mainly look to farm and get dragon control, since she is able to do it by herself very early on. Also, with the recent buff to Fervor this patch, it is for sure the best keystone to go for, especially if you're going for my type of build. Coming in at 5th place is Elise. Elise at the moment is the best AP jungler you can play. And since you see a lot of AD mid laners quite often now with all this lethality that is going around, I would highly advise picking her up for that damage diversity in your team. She is able to put out a lot of pressure in the early game due to her amazing jungle clear and dangerous ganks. Landing that stun on a target will pretty much guarantee their death. Also, a turret isn't really going to save the enemy since he has one of the best turret dives in the game. Plus, a key thing to remember is the fact that Elise can easily solo the Rift Herald, so please make good use of this every single game. Coming in at 4th place is Kha'zix. As of right now, champions that use lethality are very strong since it still really hasn't been nerfed yet. In the current patch, it has been brought down a little bit, but in the overall scheme of things, this isn't really going to matter a whole lot. The one-shot potential Kha'zix has, alongside the fact that he has resets, makes him an amazing champion for solo queue. Also, Kha'zix can quite easily solo the Rift Herald and the Dragon due to his Q damage. Make sure to use this to your advantage because this can win you a lot of games. Something else I need to mention is that on Kha'zix you want to do a quick jungle clear early on with a maximum of 4 camps. After that you should look for either an invade or a gank. Coming in at 3rd place is Rengar. The nerfs this patch didn't really affect Rengar at all, meaning he is still one of the best champions to pick. The reason this patch didn't really affect him a whole lot is because of the fact that on Rengar you are going for a lot of lethality in your runes anyway, meaning you overall barely lose any. He still has insane one-shot potential and can be very difficult to deal with for unorganized teams. What you do have to keep in mind is the fact that the first clear on him, with the setup I use, it's bad. But as soon as you pick up a little bit of extra AD and you have all of your abilities, it will be one of the best clears in the game, so play around this. Ward defensively and ask your team for some cover early on to track the enemy jungler, as this will be the key thing to dealing with Rengar's weak stage. Coming in the 2nd place is Graves. With the way the current meta sits, this champion is disgusting to deal with. He has amazing scaling and is able to clear his jungle easily at any stage in the game. The one thing he isn't that good at is ganking lanes effectively. Your laner has to set up the gank properly for it to work out if you don't have a red buff. Something I do have to mention is the item build I put up before I get people asking me where is the lethality at. Lethality Graves is a great build and can for sure be very deadly, but it requires your team to have a tank. Because if you don't have a tank, then your team will be way too squishy. And since top laners in solo queue usually don't really play tanks, this build becomes a lot better. With this build, you are able to tank the frontline for quite a while, whilst at the same time dealing a substantial amount of damage. And then coming in 1st place is Hecarim. This champion has been one of the best picks for a while now, due to the amount of pressure he's able to put out, whilst also having great jungle clear speed. And going into patch 7.4, he's also one of the few champions that didn't feel any of the nerfs implemented in this patch, meaning he instantly rises to be the best champion you can play right now. Hecarim is also quite easy to play since his kit is very straightforward, meaning that you will be able to pick him up quite effortlessly. Now for the honorable mentions. First up we have Lee Sin. This champion is able to beat a lot of the champions mentioned in the top 6 list early on, when played properly. But playing him properly takes a serious amount of skill, and if you don't really have a team to back you up, he isn't able to carry later on either, making it quite hard for me to actually put him in the list of top champions. So I put him in the honorable mentions instead. And as a final honorable mention we have Ivern. This champion is amazing in the early game and forces the enemy to play around him when it comes to jungle pathing. The ganks he provides are solid, plus he's the best champion to peel for squishy damage dealers in teamfights. The problem with Ivern is the fact that he can't really carry his team. He has to be carried. Sure, you do a lot of stuff to help your team win, but you don't deal any damage. And for solo queue, this is a terrible tactic, since your team is very unreliable. For this reason, I put him in the honorable mentions instead of the top list. Thank you guys so much for watching this video. If you've enjoyed it, please do remember to hit that like button right below. If you would like to see more videos from me in the future, make sure to hit that subscribe button, and I'll see you guys next time. Bye!